Hi, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Carlos, and I'm here with Chris Carlin. Chris and I are friends, also colleagues, and we work together as a team in Keller Williams. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing great, man. I was just welcoming everybody. We've got Facebook over here, and I've got Instagram over here. And man, it's just really good to see you. How you been?
It's just a digital world, huh?
Yeah, crazy digital world, right? I mean, it's what we're living in. I'm looking at three screens right now and a ring light on top of me. Because we got to look good in the camera. It's pretty. It's and like seven chargers. So it's pretty wild what we got going on.
Absolutely, and definitely, and to put everybody into context, the digital world is been here for a while, but after the pandemic hit the whole world, we had to be more digital because of we were at home and we needed to get out of the world. The only thing we could do is to go digital. So that is why we're here right now. We're going to be discussing this interesting topic. But to put you into context, Chris, to put everybody into context, why are we doing this today? Why are we talking about the digital world, specifically when doing real estate?
Yeah, I mean the whole world's changed. I think if you don't have the word virtual in your description now, you just got no shot, right? No matter what industry you're in. So I think everything's gone virtual and digital, and some industries shifted really really well, and some maybe didn't shift so well, and they're having a tough time now. I think fortunate for us, speaking for you too, I know that you were as well as I were doing virtual consultations long before COVID, utilizing things like Zoom and FaceTime and different things like that, recording softwares like Loom, to do different trainings and stuff. So we were doing that beforehand, but it was just on a case by case basis. The only time I would do that was maybe when we had a client out of state, right? Like you had a client out of state and you would try to do a face to face interaction so they can meet me. And now we're doing it almost like every day. Like, I'll be honest with you, not to discount the in-person interaction. The last time I met with like a buyer at the office,
You don't remember?
I couldn't tell you, right? Like
Yeah.
they call me, someone refers me to somebody else. They call me and we have a connection and we get on Zoom or we do something over the phone and we move forward. Like, it's just the way it is. It's quick, it's easy. We still have that human connection. So that's the piece that I'm sure we'll talk about today a little bit, is like, it can't be so cold, right? You have to have some human interaction,
Correct.
but yeah,
That,
it's all virtual all the time now.
and we're going to be discussing that a little bit later in this broadcast, to be digital while still being human. So the topic for today, as we were talking, is doing real estate in the digital world. And let me ask you something, Chris, before going fully digital, like we're doing right now, how
Yeah.
was the industry? How do you work as compared as right now? For example, you were before going digital in everything that we do, and now, after all this training in Zoom
Yeah.
and broadcasting in YouTube and all of that, how did your work change for that matter?
Work definitely changed. I think the biggest thing for me was, turning my bedroom, basically at that time when COVID hit, turning my bedroom into like a little mini studio. That was a challenge, right? Trying to make a nice, pretty background and do different things to make it functional. And I remember shooting just a bunch of videos at the beginning, just trying to stay engaged with people because it's tricky. But I think for us, what's changed the most is offering like virtual consultations, offering virtual open houses, being able to provide virtual options for people looking to sell and buy has been super important because everyone has a different level of sensitivity to what's going on and to the pandemic. So I think just providing them different access points where they feel like we can still get the job done for them, still help them accomplish their goal, and at the same time, do it in the safest way possible, right? There's always a risk because I'm going to have to come to the house eventually. There's always a risk, but how can we mitigate all of those, or if not most of those, and make them feel comfortable that we can serve them?
That is very important. You just mentioned to be safe, and that is the name of the game right now. Because although we have come a long way in mitigating what we call the COVID-19 effect, we still need to be very careful. And technology helps us in that area. So it is very very interesting what you're saying. But I have a little statistic that we want to discuss with you, Chris. we were talking about this, we're probably going live, and it's about the internet use in the world.
Mhm.
Look at this statistic. It says that 59% of the world's population have access to internet. That is
Right.
4.7 billion people in the world, man. That is a lot of people getting online. And although we're in the
Yeah.
United States, we can be seen. This, in fact, this broadcast can be seen anywhere in the world. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. It is amazing to think that we're that connected. It's one of those things, right? I guess like everyone, Zoom is the word that everybody uses now. And sometimes you're sick of Zoom, but thank God for Zoom, because without Zoom, my goodness, I don't know what we would do. Or Facebook or social media. You know what I mean? There's so many ways that we stay connected. So yeah, that's a big number. You always have good stats on here.
That is correct. If a little bit more than half of the population in the world has internet access, how about the United States? I have this slide
Okay.
that I want to discuss with you as well. It says that in the United States, that number is about 82% of the people in the United States have internet access. That is about 280 million people. Man, that is a lot. What does that say? What does that tell you when we are talking about real estate?
For me, what jumps out, as a real estate agent, as a team, someone who's running a team, as a coach, is that if you don't have an online presence, then it's going to be really hard for you to keep up. That's pretty much what it says to me, because everyone is there. And instead of seeing it, you can see it two ways. You could see it as like, oh my gosh, everything's changing, or you could see it as like a wow, there's a big opportunity there to take advantage of if I'm willing to jump in. So that's kind of what it says to me, for sure.
So in order for you to be successful, to anybody to be successful, it needs to understand that we need to have an internet presence. Isn't that correct? Especially when you're a real estate agent, that's what we're talking about right now. For example, if you want to be successful in real estate, what tools will you use technologically wise in order for you to be very successful, Chris?
Oh man. In order to be successful, what tools would I use? I mean, social media, which we're using right now and having a difficult time because for some reason they're reconnecting. But hey, I guess they reconnected. Okay, I think. Cool. So Instagram, Facebook, Zoom would be another one that I would utilize pretty heavily. A great thing for teams would be Loom, Loom. I think that's a really powerful tool. Yeah, Loom. It's a recording service, so you can record the screen record stuff. So if you are working on a team or you have different people in your organization, you can record little tutorials or different things that you're trying to. Let's say you're showing them like the numbers from Q1. We just finished Q1. If you're showing them the numbers from Q1, you can screen record something, send it to everybody. So Loom. That's a pretty cool service. I use that a lot actually for trainings.
That is correct. One of the things that also happens in this digital world is the information that we have access to. Like, for example, I have my son who's 18 years old, and my daughter who's about to graduate from college. Everything is in the palm of their hands. If you want to know something, you just Google it, and even though the information has to be sometimes confirmed, the information is right there. So we have a lot of information, and like we're saying, with a lot of people having internet access, most of the internet access will come through a mobile phone, right? So you have it with you all the time. So in order for people to understand, the power that they have of information accessible for them at any time, they need to be also very chooseful on what tools they will be using. Like, for example, in the real estate, they have sites like Zillow, like Trulia, and all of those. What would you say to them, Chris, about those sites in terms of the information that they can get? Because those are powerful sites, but the information sometimes is overwhelming. So what would you say to them about that?
Oh man, you have good questions. I would say they're great tools and use them as tools. At the end of the day, I think there's probably, and this is going to sound like I'm making a plug for real estate agents, but at the end of the day, there's probably no substitution for an agent who's well-versed in the market, well-versed in what we do on a daily basis. They have their feet in the ground. They're seeing inventory. They're out doing deals. There's probably no better substitution for that, and there never will be. At the same time, those sites give you access to information on demand, and that's super cool. So, if I was in the market right now to buy a house, absolutely, I'd be utilizing them. It's pretty much the analogy of anything. I bought some headphones yesterday, right? I could go to Best Buy and talk to the advisor there, and he can talk to me about what the JBLs do and what the Bose speaker do and what the Beats do, right? And give me his feedback and tell me about the specs and do all that stuff. At the same time, I mean, there's nothing like just having access to it when I need it. So guess what? Best Buy's not open 24/7, right? Like I can't stop into Best Buy at 1 a.m. when I can't sleep and I'm just, fiddling around online. But I can go online and watch reviews on YouTube, and I can go online and look at the company's website, and I can go online and look at testimonials or reviews from other people. That's what those websites provide. I think that's what our social media platforms can provide, right? Like your real estate page, Carlos, someone could go on there whenever they want and see content and stuff that's valuable to them, whether it's about the local community or whether it's about real estate directly. So I think it just provides you that instant access, which everybody wants. Let's face it, if I can't order it on Amazon and it doesn't get here in like 48 hours, it sounds horrible, but I almost don't want to order it. So I think for us, it's got to be something that's instantaneous. So that's what we use those tools for. But at the same time, there's nothing's going to replace somebody like myself or you being able to provide just real life experience.
Yeah, that's what that we're putting here, digital while still being human. Because when we talk about real estate, it's not the same to buy, like, for example, earplugs than to buy a home. Is that correct? So the information that
I can return the earphones really easily. Yeah.
Yeah, but you cannot return the house, for example. So you need to be very chooseful about it. And the information that you get, the information is useful, of course, but you will also need the human factor, especially when you're talking about such a big investment like purchasing a home. So information is great. You have information all the time, like you say, 24/7. But in real estate, you will also need the human factor all the time in order for you to notice all the things that the computer will notice. Is that correct?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think technology creates a lot of great opportunities. It creates a lot of automation. It creates a lot of, streamline efficiency of systems and processes that you use on a daily basis, from a business standpoint. But I hate when I can't get a hold of somebody directly. Like it's a strong word, hate, but I hate it. Like, none of us, I think, like when we call these numbers and it takes you through 10 different, menu phases and press 1 and press 2 and speak this and speak that. And then you're like, deposit. And then it's like, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. You're yelling at the phone. Like nobody likes that type of stuff. So I think technology has its place, but I'm always the guy that like, I get my phone out and I'm hitting 0. That's, take you to the operator.
Because you want to talk to somebody real, right?
Somebody. I had an interaction with an agent not too long ago, and it doesn't really matter who they are, but every time I called them, they would text me, please text me, and then I would call them again, please text me, and it was like that for like 2 weeks, and eventually I got on the phone with him and I said, man, I've been trying to call you for a couple days now, and every time I call you, you tell me to text you, and he's like, yeah, so why are you calling me? And I was like, wow, that's crazy, right? Is what I thought in my head. And I told him, well, to be fair, what we can do in about 30 seconds on the phone is going to take us 4 hours over text message. So I think it would just be easier to communicate this way. So I think that the human factor is always going to be there, no matter how crazy we get. Like in 2040, if there's flying cars and we're living in this digital world and like you can come into my house, Carlos, as a hologram and like tour it, like if we get to that point, there's always going to, like, I want to be able to speak to Carlos. Like, I want to know what you think. I want to have access to you like that. It's just the way we're built. Like, we're social beings,
But that is correct. We were created to be social, and we need to be social all the time, even if we're using technology, which brings me to the next topic, Chris, the social media effects. And I have a little statistic that I want to show you right now, because this is going to blow your mind. Look at this.
Okay.
We were talking about the use of internet. 100% of 18 to 29-year-olds in the United States use internet, which is amazing. 100% of people in between 18 and 29 years old use internet. But look at this other statistic right here. And out of those, 58% have social media accounts.
Wow.
58% of the people that have access in the United States, which is pretty much like we just say, in that specific range of ages,
Yeah.
100%. What does that tell you about having social media presence? Just like we're doing right
honestly,
now.
I'm surprised that number's not higher. I'm surprised the 58% is not higher, especially in that demographic. Was that 58% related to the 18 to 29?
No, in fact, it is related to these other statistics that I want to show you right here.
Okay,
In the
cool.
United States, that number is 280 million people.
Right.
Okay, so that statistic is related to that one right here. So 100%
Gotcha.
of those have in that specific
Gotcha.
age range.
Yeah, so I think it's crazy. I mean, I don't know, a great stat here. I think we might have talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago. I believe it's like something like 48% of the sales or transactions that happened in real estate in 2020 were from millennials. It was like 47, 48%. And it's projected that this year will be over 50%. So the majority of sales done in 2021 will be from the millennial population, which is pretty much what you just talked about. The 18 to 29, I believe, is what you had up on the screen. So it, like anything, I'm 31, right? So I'm a millennial actually still. I'm barely a millennial, but I'm a millennial. In 20 years, when I'm 51, God willing, I make it to 51 and what have you. I'm 51. There will be some new platform, right? Or some new technology or some new way of doing things. And I'll have to adapt again. Like, we're always constantly adapting. But I think the important thing is just to think, like, how do people want to be communicated with now? And a lot of times it's going to be through social media. So, I'm a millennial, so I can speak for the millennials. I think, I'm an older millennial, so I'm a wise millennial. And I would say
you're in the age of that range.
Yes, I'm an elderly millennial. And that being said, when I want something as a consumer, whether it's I'm going to a restaurant, a service, or a product, then the first thing I do is go to Instagram. It's the first thing I do. I go straight to Instagram and I'm checking out their page and what does their page look like and what does their service look like and how's the food at the restaurant look, and oh my gosh, look at these pictures of this product or whatever it might be. Like, that's my first place. And if I'm doing that, I can guarantee you that the younger millennials, right? Because I'm the old millennial, the younger millennials are absolutely doing it too. And then even below them, I'm not sure what is it Gen? I don't know what the next one is.
I think it is
Gen C maybe. But the next one, they're absolutely doing it, right? So services like Yelp, Instagram, Facebook, all those things, a lot of times they're used for verification, right? So I could say somebody who's looking at purchasing a house, they see my for sale sign, right? They see it like on a street somewhere. They call me or they take my number down or they see my name. They might type into Instagram Christopher Carlin and check out my page and look at a few videos and see what my page looks like and how many posts do I have and how many followers do I have, like all those kind of things. And do they get like a good energy or a good vibe for who I am? Do I look likable, trustworthy, knowledgeable? I hope so. But if I do, great. They're going to call someone like me and you. If they go on my Instagram page and I have like 3 posts and nothing interesting at all to look at,
they won't come back.
They might call, but it's definitely going to be like a notch, like a knock on like, is this guy legit? Because that's just the way it is.
That's the way it is. If you go to Chris Carlin's social media accounts, for example, he has it on the screen right now. You'll see that he is a golfer, he's a photographer, he's a real estate agent, a family man, because I see him. So I know Chris not just because I talk to him all the time because of the real estate industry that we are in together, but it's because I got to know him a little bit better through social media. So it is good to be there if you're a professional, but you need to also show your other side, not just the professional side, but your normal life. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, you got to show everything. I think we're getting a little bit maybe like off the direct topic, but I think you got to show everything. So if you're out there right now and you're a business owner, you're a entrepreneur, what have you, I think people want to see everything, because we're past the age of perfectionism and we're into the age of realism. And I just want to see what the real you looks like, the ups and the downs and the bad days and the good days. Like, I just want to see it all, and that just makes it more authentic. And I think people want authentic experiences today. They don't want cookie cutter perfect experiences. They want something that's real.
Correct. We're running out of time, and I hope we had a little bit more time to discuss all of this, because it's a lot of topics to cover.
Yeah.
But just think about this, and not to the audience right now. Would you like to work with a real estate agent who is something that you, like Chris was saying, likable? And the only way you can actually get to know that person is through different areas of their lives. For example, we like to work with somebody who has no presence, if you don't know who he is, or somebody who you might, get to know through social media. And that's at the end, that with the statistics that we were looking at right now, most of the people have social media accounts right now, so they will be looking at you, and you better have a good presence, not just in professional life, but in your personal life as well.
Absolutely. I think it's imperative. I think the best way to put it is, like, if I don't get to meet Carlos Rivera, if I don't get to meet you, or I only get to interact with you once or twice, but I'm able to still see all the stuff that you're, posting there, and it's valuable stuff, I'm going to feel like I know you. It's almost like a little mini reality show. And that's going to give me the confidence to hopefully one day, like, reach out to you and engage with you on a different level, in terms of business and stuff like that. So yeah, I think social media more than ever is as prevalent as it could be. It was before the virus, and now during the pandemic, it just skyrocketed. So I mean, there is no other way. It's just this is the way. It was a little Mandalorian.
It is the way. How there is no other way in which you can be so reachable at the same time with a lot of people, and massively speaking, it's the way to go. So social media, digital world, we are in the Zoom culture, I call it, because we do everything through Zoom, interactions, coaching, classes, and all of that. So we're in the digital world, and we need to get adjusted to that. Chris, any final words to the audience?
Oh my gosh, I would just say, unrelated, stay safe. We're hopefully near the light at the end of the tunnel here. So I know it's not related to real estate in the digital age, but I would say COVID is still here. Be safe out there. Get vaccinated. Do your thing. I'm going to get vaccinated actually later today. I know, Carlos, we were talking about it before. I just think that amazing what the doctors have been able to do in such a short amount of time. Yes, we will continue to use virtual tools like this, for a long time to come. I think people realize that there's new things that they can do that they maybe hadn't thought before, that now the pandemic pushed them into, which is amazing. And at the same time, I know that all of us are dying to be with one another the way that we remember, and I think that will be here soon if we continue just to push through this. It's been a crazy, gosh, no one can predict something.
It's a crazy year, but we're going to come out successfully, God willing, and it's going to be an amazing year, I'm sure, for everybody. And yes, I mean, we just need to keep focused on what you're saying, keep ourselves safe, and be happy, and try to stay focused on everything that we do. Chris, thank you very much. This has been a wonderful time talking to you. Next week, we're going to have another broadcast. Just stay tuned, and we'll see you.
Thank you guys so much. Be safe. Peace.
Bye-bye.